What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be giving you a detour around the inside of a cell. Come on with me. This is Ohana Auto Repair and it is our cell. Behind the glass you can see that the office, which represents the nucleus because of long-term data storage such as files which can be associated with DNA. Around the glass you can see a wall which acts as the nuclear envelope which protects the nucleus and its data. This is Andrew, and he represents the nuclear lamina, which aids in DNA replication, RNA transcription, and nuclear chromatin organization. So as the lamina aids and organizes, so does Andrew in his job as an accountant. As you can see, this is a printer, and it represents the nucleolus, which assembles cell ribosomes to create and to repair DNA. Similar to the nucleolus, the printer also takes components to create long-term images to store data. This is a file drawer, which represents our chromatin and which can be defined as tightly gathered DNA strands. The file cabinet, too, is tightly confined to keep our files and money organized and secure, such as DNA inside of the nucleus. This is Russell. He acts as the smoothie R, which synthesizes and transports lipids, steroids, and carbs. Such as the smoothie R does this, Russell works on and repairs vehicles to eventually prepare and send off, similar to the smoothie R. This is a desk space which acts as our membrane interface, the site at which synthesis occurs in the smoothie R. This is where Russell would go to receive information to aid in repairing vehicles, such as smoothie R synthesizes. This is the shop, which represents surface area in the smoothie R for transportation of lipids, steroids, and carbs, as shown by these 3 vehicles being prepared to leave the shop. This is the shop garage, which acts as the end of the smoothie R, which includes transport vessels that are synthesized macromolecules and, or in this case, vehicles, and transport them typically to the Golgi apparatus, which in this instant would be back to the road.
The Golgi apparatus processes, modifies, packages, and distributes molecules such as lipids and proteins. Then it ensures that it reaches its proper destination. This is like my laundry room, where you take dirty clothes, you wash and then you dry them, which is like the processing and modifying, and then you fold them, which is like packaging, and then you place it in their proper destinations, which is like it being sent to the proper destination. The roughy R serves an important part in protein synthesis, where ribosomes on the surface help in the production of proteins, which are then processed and transported to other parts of the cell. This is like your kitchen counter serving as rough ER, and then the ribosomes such as the knife and the plate help to make the sandwich, and the sandwich shows the part of production of which the proteins are being made because it's being assembled. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and generates energy in the form of ATP. This is very essential for many functions of the cell. This candle serves as a cell. These batteries serves as the cell's mitochondria. When the candle is turned on, the batteries are like the mitochondria, producing energy in the form of electricity to power the candle and turn it on so that it can function properly.
Chloroplasts are organelles that are found in plant cells and contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll helps plants to absorb energy from the sun as they undergo the process of photosynthesis to make energy for themselves. Much like chloroplasts, solar panels have PV cells in a panel, the chlorophyll. When the sun shines onto a solar panel, energy from the sunlight is absorbed by the PV cells, which creates electrical charges that move in response to an internal electrical field in the cell, causing electricity to flow and outsourcing energy. Vacuoles are organelles that can either store food or other nutrients required by a cell to survive, or store waste products and prevent the entire cell from contamination. There is one large vacuole in plant cells that pushes against the cell wall to keep it rigid, while they are much smaller and frequent in animal cells. Fridges are much like vacuoles because they store food and or water and prevent it from contamination. Vacuoles can also be compared to garbage cans because they hold waste from humans and also prevent the waste from going back out and potentially harming the current environment. Lysosomes are organelles that contain digestive enzymes. They break down excess or worn out cell parts or break down materials taken up from outside the cell. Cellular debris or foreign particles are pulled into the cell through the process of endocytosis. The process of endocytosis happens when the cell membrane falls in on itself, creating a vacuole or a pouch around the external contents and then bringing those contents into the cell. It breaks down the external contents and then releases what cannot be broken down through the process of exocytosis. This is a very similar comparison to the digestive system of humans. The mouth has teeth that physically break down the substance being eaten while also producing spit to allow food to travel down the esophagus to the stomach, where the food is broken down further for the body to digest and absorb nutrients, and then discharged to the form of excrement.
Centrioles play an important role in our cells. They organize our microtubules into microspindles, which separates our chromosomes from each other during mitosis, allowing us to create more cells. Here we have a cell with a full set of chromosomes. The centrioles are creating a meiotic spindle to split the cell's chromosomes in two, allowing the split chromosomes to be put into a new cell, allowing for cellular reproduction. These are the cells after the fact. You can see they've both produced two full sets of chromosomes and are each living happily. This is the plasma membrane, the outer wall of our cells, made up of a phospholipid bilayer. It protects and helps regulate the inside of our cells. My dogs Taco and Asta are representing potassium, as they need active transport to cross the membrane, which requires the cell to use energy in the form of ATP. My cat Maverick represents oxygen in the form of O2, and because he is small and nonpolar, he can cross the membrane through passive transport, which requires no energy from the cell. When you first look at this table, what do you see? A chess game maybe? Glass, perhaps? This is much like our cell upon first inspection. We see the biolayer with hundreds of proteins running through it. We see the constant side-to-side movement of the phospholipids. We see it retrieve and send out signals. We get infatuated with the complexities of what we can see. It's just human nature. But what we don't see is even more important. Because the fancy biolayer cannot function without the structural support from the cytoskeleton. Much like the legs on this table, the functionality of what we see depends on the functionality of what goes unseen.